Hey guys, Iceface here, and today we're playing Valor Legends once again. Now, in today's video, guys, we are going to be talking about the best beginner heroes in this game. We're specifically going to be talking about legendary heroes, so the 5 stars. And yeah, we're just going to give an overall generic guide. Just as a little FYI before we go into that, we did indeed win the elimination match. We beat the Ukraine Guild, and now we're against Strong EST, which I believe is going to be a landslide victory. So we are going to the finals. It's going to be an interesting match between these two. But yeah, so this is like early to mid game. I feel like I'm at mid game now, potentially. I'd have to ask some other people, and they will tell me, but I believe we're about there. And what I'm going to say is we're going to be ignoring the light and shadows for the earlyish game because you have to be whaling quite a lot to get them super quickly. So what we're going to do first of all, guys, we're going to take a look at shadow, and I'm going to point out that Margaret is going to be the best early game healer. That's going to, well, this is more for like PvE. She's really good PvP as well, but her ability, which is the rebirth of soul, is very important. I feel it can change the game. It still does bits for me now. So she's a very important hero early game. Cardeline is a really good hero. He's more better at PvP than he is PvE, but he is still pretty decent for PvE early game. He does drop off a bit mid to late game, but he's still a pretty good hero, so he's going to be in there for the shadow. Diana, she was my go-to in the early game as well. She was my backline ranger. Don't use her so much anymore. She's really good in Abyss as well. I would definitely recommend it if you can get Diana, to push Diana, as she is an undead, so you're going to get the undead buff, and her skills are actually really nice, as you can see by the skills. And her exclusive weapon I haven't unlocked yet is pretty good as well. Bolly is another one. He's actually pretty good. So I'd say like the main one is, for me, is Margaret and Diana, and then you got Cardeline and Bolly are also very good. I'm going with like the top tier ones that can help you progress really fast. There are some other really good heroes, but I believe that Margaret and Diana are the primary two in the faction. So for these ones, guys, it's a bit hard. I believe Eric is one that you definitely want to pick up. He's pretty good at PvP and PvE, so he does a bit of both. But I haven't gone too much into this faction, but if I was to say, I believe Uchi is very good, and he will last into the late game because he's got the stuns. Telweir is very good as well. He's another ranger. His skills are actually really good as well. But besides that, I haven't looked too much into it. Narissa is okay. And of course, you can get Salta pretty easily. I believe it's pretty easily obtainable. So that is another one that you could potentially go for, more of an assassin. But I haven't delved too far into this faction. I believe like some of their skills, like Giselle's skills, are actually pretty decent. But I didn't use any of these to get me to where I am. I basically just combed over this faction. I am looking at doing Eric, but not in the immediate future. Now it's coming up to the main faction I believe has helped me get where I am, and that is the Forest. The Forest is the highest, well, the hardest that I've gone into a faction. Mainly because we've got Lionel, who is basically the best PvE tank throughout the whole game. His survivability, his skills are really good. You can see all the buffs he gets. He immediately is going to restore his HP. And then, as you can see, restoring HP of 15% of attack for each circle. You can see 140% of attack. Health restoration is increased to 40% of attack. And he taunts. He's a very, 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 very good tank. Very good. If you are a spender, you need Lionels. You can obtain from VIP, but he's very, very important. As you can see, my Lionel is maxed out. I've done a little bit into his exclusive weapon as well. Super, super solid tank, guys. And then we got the GOAT of the team, Terrence. Multiple uses. I still use him now. People say you stopped using him a few campaign levels ago, but I still use him. Maybe because I've got it so quick, I haven't had time to develop other heroes, but he still has very good uses for me. Be it jumping from the front line and taking some aggro, be it jumping from the back line doing good AoE damage. He is a monster. I will be doing separate videos on heroes such as Terrence because they are key heroes in the game, but you definitely want to get Terrence, especially in the early game. He is awesome. He will help you get so far if you can upgrade him. If you can't get all of these, try to pick a couple, and if you had to pick a couple, Terrence is one you definitely want because he will help you go so much further. I promise you, Terrence will help you go a lot further. I pushed Terrence really, really hard. Like I've sort of got told about Terrence, and then I pushed him hard, and I just boom, kept soaring up through the ranks, soaring up through the campaign. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Honorable mentions in this faction, we got Flora. She's a very, very, very good priest. As you can see, healing effects. She's going to heal. It's going to have a shield. 80% of Flora's attack damage for 5 seconds. And then we got the Purify. Removing and dispelling all debuffs. Very, very, very good hero. Now, Ronald, he's one that I don't recommend going for early game. To be honest, any of the legendaries can get you so far early game, but if you want to excel even further than that, then it's definitely worth going for the correct heroes. Because you can reset them, but it's going to cost you gems, and you don't necessarily want to waste any pick'em sort of like wish lists or using tokens from events to pick up heroes such as Ronaldo, even though he is pretty good if he can get his skill off, then he is pretty decent, as you can see. Does really, really good attack. And is going to stun them. But again, like I said, Lionel's definitely a lot better. Like this guy dies really quickly, I find. Especially if he gets targeted, he dies really quick. It's a little bit annoying. And another one's Frode. Some people were saying they didn't really like him, I seen, but I tend to actually like this guy. He has some pretty good uses, as you can see from his skills. He's actually really, really nice. I use him in Abyss, actually, and I feel like I do a lot more damage with him in Abyss. Now, moving on from the sort of early to mid, you're going to want your likes of Celia. You're going to want to get your Ramiel. I think they should be your first two lights and the shadows, because Celia is amazing, Ramiel's amazing. They're just so good. I think they are the two first ones you should go for, to be honest. Some people might have different opinions, but in my opinion, that's who you should go for first. But that's basically it. I'm keeping it quite short and simple for today's one. I don't want to go too in depth into each hero. I'm going to do separate videos for it, but I believe probably the best early game team is going to be Lionel, Terrence, Diana, Margaret, and to be honest, you've got a bit of options with your fifth choice. You could go Telwer, you could go Frode, you could go Flora if you need more healing. Bolly's a good one. I mean, to be honest, having a mage in there isn't actually a bad shout. So maybe you put an Uchi in there as well. That's who I'd probably go for, to be honest. Uchi potentially, you're mixing it up a little bit. Or if you want another ranger, you can go for the... Where are they two? So we got Edward. He's actually pretty good. I think you can go Edward or you can go, where is she to? Liv. Liv is really, really good ranger as well. I think she's awesome. I never went for her, but she definitely is a good one to go for, to be honest. I would recommend going for her as well if you can get a hold of her early game. So that would mean you'd go with Diana, Liv, Terence, Margaret, and Lionel. You would get the free Forest faction buff, which would be actually quite nice progressing through. And I think that wraps it up for today's video, guys. There's just the tips and guides on what legendaries you should go for first in your team, especially in the early game. So that being said, if you have enjoyed, guys, do go ahead and like the video. It helps out the channel a lot. Subscribe if you're new. We've got tons and tons of content planned and ready to be released. So yep, I'll see you all next time. Oh, and if you're still in Guild Wars, good luck, guys.